you're if you're entering a trade and you don't know exactly how much you're risking on that trade, then you're gambling. If you're placing a trade with no stop loss, you're gambling. If you're placing a trade that where you don't have like a point of where price needs to get to for you to exit that trade or take partials, you're gambling.
Because I think it would, correct me if I'm wrong, but I got to ask. You and Sam Cavanaugh kind of got into it a little bit on Twitter, right? All right, traders, we're back with another amazing episode. So today I'm solo. I'm sitting down with Mads the Trader, if you know her on Twitter. Madison is awesome. She's affiliated with Bespoke Funding, FX Connect. We talk all about her trading journey. We talk about some of these events that she's working on in the UK and what's coming up with that. We talk about Vima and Verve, since both her and I were in network marketing like over 10 years ago. It's crazy. The similarities are always good. The video quality at the beginning here is a little off. I mean, she is across the world, so we got to give it, cut me some slack here, everybody. We're doing Zoom podcasts. So just bear with me. The video quality does get better. The audio is great. So just listen in. Mads is awesome. You guys are going to love this. Make sure you check out the links in the description. I've got tons of stuff for you down there. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your attention always, everybody. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our future episodes, and enjoy the conversation with Mads the Trader. Real quick, traders, a break from the podcast. I have to thank our sponsor, Lux Algo. Lux provides a wide variety of trading indicators on TradingView. Specifically, they have 3 premium indicators that use AI to generate trade ideas. These signals are actually now aligning with my A2 strategy, which you've heard me talk about many times, which to me is like a double confluence for really great trade ideas. So no matter how you trade, Lux has a solution for you. They have a ton of SMC, ICT, trend-based indicators as well that are part of their suite of indicators. So I highly recommend you check them out. But specifically, tomorrow, November 20th, they're dropping brand new features, including a new backtesting feature on their software, on their platform. So I've got links in the description, not only to get you early access to that backtesting software, but I'm gonna save you some money as well if you use the code in the link down in the description. So again, thank you to Lux Algo. Good luck to everybody who tries out their indicators. I think you're gonna love them, especially you're gonna love this Black Friday deal. So hit the link, check it out. Let's get back to the episode. All right, traders, welcome back. So today I've got a solo episode. I'm sitting down with Madison, as most of you know her on Twitter as Mads the Trader. Mads, it's good to have you. How are you?
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm great.
Oh,
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this. It's good to have you. Just to get to know, I think your presence online has grown a lot, but people maybe haven't heard your story, haven't gotten to know you, behind the Twitter a little bit. So that's why I wanted to have you on today, just to shed light on some of the women in the industry. I recently had Tori Trades on.
Mhm.
She was great. I'm sure you're going to be great. I
Yeah,
know you have a
she
lot of
yeah,
things
she's
going
fun.
on as well. So like we've got a lot of commonalities. I know we might be seeing each other in London in a couple of weeks. So things are good, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So really quick, before we get in, Madison, with all the questions I have for you, could you tell us, this is a fun question to start. I'm not going to start with something just easy of like, how did you get into trading? Tell us about the 13-year-old Madison. Were you entrepreneurial? Were you shy? Were you
Oh,
outgoing? Tell us about your childhood and maybe a little bit of the characteristics that developed for you at that time.
oh, that's I can't say I've thought about being 13
In a while,
since I
right?
was
So I set you back for a
13.
little bit.
Yeah. 13-year-old Mads, I have to say, was probably quiet at that point. Like I was kind of coming to a point where I was starting to find my voice. I was always a bit quiet, but I would always speak up for things that I was really passionate about. But generally, I always like kept kind of to myself. I didn't really like confrontation. So 13-year-old Mads was definitely not the same Mads that I am today.
That's the good answer I'm looking for. Because, I think a lot of people sometimes end up like the 180-degree difference of how they were as a child. We see certain characteristics within ourselves and we want to develop other ones sometimes. So now,
Mm.
fast forward to today, Mads, how have you grown into this entrepreneur, trader, well-known, woman in the space? What has led to that motivation? What pushed you into that direction?
I think a big part of it, so I always knew I wanted more from life. I always knew that like going to work for someone else wasn't going to work for me. But I think it was having kids for me that really pushed me into like, right, okay, you now have a son and a daughter. They are looking up to you and they need you to be like a badass, basically. And that just kind of has pushed me to just strive for everything and just take no shit from no one, and
I
yeah,
love
just be
it.
like a strong role model.
I love that. I love that. I feel like as a woman in the space, I asked Tori this, but your DMs must be crazy, right? Like my DMs are full of a bunch of dudes that want to learn how to make money. So your DMs must be full of a bunch of dudes and probably a bunch of dick pics or something like that, right?
You know what? I don't actually get it that much. I know a lot of girls that I have spoken to in the space, they get it a lot, but I don't know if it's the type of content that people put out, but I get it sometimes, but it's not like overwhelming, I would
Good. Well, that's
say.
good. That's good. So all the guys that are following Mads, you guys are doing a good job. Don't bombard her with that,
Yeah,
please.
you're
Yeah.
good.
You're good. So, what was the first thing you did on social media, Mads? Like, were you trading first and then decided to start the Twitter account? Or, like, what was your first step into social
Yeah.
media and when was that?
So social media for me really started last year. So I had Twitter, I had Instagram, but I was never like Instagram, I was never over like 1,500. Like it was just people that I knew.
Sure.
And then I started, so I started trading in 2015. And then I started Twitter last year. So it was a long time since I first initially started trading when I
What
actually
brought you to
became like,
Twitter then?
so I was on Instagram and I was following all these gurus, and it was just, I was just at a point where I was like, okay, I know how to trade and I'm starting to become profitable, but like I can't keep seeing like the Lambos and the mansions and the cash and like the whole lifestyle stuff. It was just too much. And it was always holding me back in a way. So I thought, okay, I'm coming off Instagram completely came off that. But then I was like, okay, I need an outlet. Like I need something where I can talk about trading and investing and everything that it kind of comes with. So I thought, okay, I'll go back to Twitter. So when back in 2019, 2020, when Twitter was like, it was very crypto based, like the whole crypto community was on Twitter. I was on there then for that kind of whole thing, but I never really grew a following. It was just people I knew. So I thought to myself, okay, right, I've got Twitter, like I've got a few people on there that already trade. I'll just go back to that. So it was May last year, went back to Twitter, just started posting charts and different bits about my personal journey, payouts here and there. And it just kind of blew up. Like it was, I remember like within like 3 months, I was on like 4K. And all of a sudden now I'm on like over 18K, and I'm like, I don't know
It's
like where this
crazy.
came from.
I mean,
It's
it's because
crazy.
you post very authentic content. That was what attracted me to your page originally. And like you're also
Yeah.
not shy to stake your opinion and put your thoughts out there and defend them as well. Because I think it would, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I got to ask, you and Sam Kavanaugh kind of got into it a little bit on Twitter, right?
What's up, traders? The best way to learn how to trade is not through a trading course. I sell a course that teaches my strategies, and I'm telling you that honest advice. The best way to really learn how to trade is to watch experienced traders with proven track records navigate the live market. Now, when I got started as a trader, I was able to watch one of Wall Street's best traders live for a full day, just one day, and it made a huge impact on my trading. I still use some of the principles that he shared that day today, 6 years later. So now as I've built my reputation and my brand as a trading coach, I want to turn and give the trading community something back. We've started the Netflix for traders. It's called ASFX TV. It's now only $10 per month. It's the same price as Netflix, basically, where you can come and watch me and 3-4 other full-time traders navigate the markets live. And again, this is the best way for you to learn how to trade. You'll see us take trades. You'll be able to participate in some of them if you'd like. It's never financial advice. I have to be very clear about that. It's for entertainment purposes only, but you're gonna actually see how a real full-time trader navigates the London session and New York session every day of the week. So click the link down below in the description. Maybe there's a card flying in on the screen. Take the 3-day free trial. Check it out. See if you're interested. You don't just get the live streams, you actually get to watch the recordings of any streams that you missed as well. So it's a no-brainer. For $10 a month, it's a no-brainer. So check it out. Link down below. Now back to the video.
We did.
You know, I had him on the podcast. I like Sam. He's a very strong, opinionated man, and you're a very strong, opinionated woman. You know?
Yeah, I really like him because you know what? I feel like someone like me, it takes a certain type of person to come back at me and like put me in my place somewhat. But yeah, I mean, we've spoke, like, he blocked me for a while, but he's unblocked me now. We've spoken a little bit, so I think we're cool now.
Good. And you know what? I think that's the cool thing about Twitter, at least from my perspective, is like on Instagram, people, like you said, it's just the Lambos and the fake stuff. It's like a highlight of a lifestyle you want people to believe you're living. But when you get onto Twitter, you actually have like intelligent conversations sometimes with people that can lead to good dialogue that everybody viewing it can learn from. And like, I think that's one of the good things about the Twitter space and the financial space on Twitter specifically, you know?
Absolutely. I always say, like, if when these IG influencers come to Twitter with their, like, for example, a recent one, I don't know if it's $100 or $1,000 to $1 million challenge, and they come to Twitter with these things, and everyone on Twitter wants to see the proof, wants to see every trade place, wants to see that you're not affiliated with that broker. We want to know everything
because we've seen it all.
Get away with it.
Right.
Yeah, they can't get away with it on Twitter.
Right. It's true. Now, when you said you've been trading since 2015, that's very similar to myself. What was your, like, when in 2015, when did you get introduced into the funding stuff? Like, did you go with FTMO way back then? Because like 2015, the only company out there that was doing the funding stuff was FTMO.
Yeah, no, I didn't find out about funding. So prior to 2019, 2020, everything was self-funded. Everything was just personal accounts. Hugo's way, if you know about
that. Yep, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, it was all self until 2019, 2020, it was all self-funded.
Nice. Got it. So in 2019, 2020 is pretty recent. Was the first, I know you're affiliated with Bespoke. Are they the firm that you stepped in with first? Were they around then?
No, it was, so I started with FTMO. FTMO was the only one I tried. I did last year, actually, around about this time last year. MFF actually introduced a 300k challenge, and I tried them, and I absolutely hated them. And I've always said that ever since. I hated MFF.
Tell us why.
So it was just, the slippage was just horrible. Like, I'd be in a trade,
you get slipped to hell,
MFF
so of course.
Slip them to hell.
Right.
But yeah, I'd be in a trade on MFF and be in a trade on FTMO, and MFF gets stopped out and FTMO was like nowhere near the stop loss, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I failed that challenge. I thought I'm never going back. But yeah, so Bespoke reached out to me, I think it was around April, May, I want to say. And that was when I was kind of starting to get noticed a little bit, and they were growing their account on Twitter as well. So they reached out to me just to do a giveaway. So I did that, and then they asked me to officially partner. And then after that, they asked me for a phone call one day, and was like, do you want to be like our content creator, like basically the face of the brand? And I was like, oh God, like I've never done anything like this. And they said like they'd seen a few bits that I'd done, like talking on stage and stuff that I'd done in the past. And they said, if you can do that, then we think that you can do this. So yeah, and here I am now.
And any complaints with Bespoke? Of course, you create content with them, so you got to tell us, like, because the audience is going to look into them. What's the biggest con of trading with Bespoke? Because I've heard only good things, so I'm waiting to hear something negative. You know.
The only, if I have to choose anything, because I would never partner with a firm that I don't think is like perfect.
Sure.
The only thing that I can say is some type of con is 8 caps, market open and market close slippage. It's not the greatest. So the spreads between like, so for in the UK it's 10 p.m. I always know at 10 p.m. I'm expecting my position to move like 20-30 pips.
Right, because it's the
So
changeover of days. It's the same thing. Yep, I know
yeah,
exactly what you're saying. Yep.
so 8 cap with that 8 cap is really bad. So if you've still got your stop loss that's like 20 pips below,
You're going to get
9
tapped
times out
every
of 10
time.
you're going to get
Yeah.
taken out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of learn to just take my stop loss off around that time and then put it back on, obviously, when the market's back to normal.
Yeah.
But obviously now we've got think markets as well, so they're a lot better. So the spread on them is always around like 10 pips maybe
Sure.
on market close. So
Much better.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only thing I could
No,
say.
and honestly, that's a good answer. That's a really good answer, because I think that's one of the areas that a lot of the firms struggle with. What do you make of all of the firms now? They're all offering the same thing almost. It's almost the same offering wherever you go. So it's now become, I feel like, which influencer and which guy running the company do you like more than this guy? And then you end up going with that firm, whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it is. I think sorry, my camera's just turned off. But
No,
yeah,
you're
I
good. You're
think
good.
it is very much like, who do you prefer? Which influencer is your favorite?
Right.
And I think, to be honest, that's kind of the route that prop firms have kind of taken it themselves. It's not a case of like the audience have taken it there. Prop firms have kind of come into the space, got all of these influencers, and now that is just pretty much what it's become. Who is your favorite influencer?
It's interesting. My take on it, like the way that these firms have grown so fast, is like naturally that fast growth is going to lead to hiccups. There's going to be bumps along the road. There's going to be competition that comes out from every corner of the world. But what I think normally competition does in every other industry is it makes the outcome for us as the customer better in the long run. We just have to see through all of the nonsense that's happening right now. And the best firms will rise to the top, and then we'll continue to trade with them. The people that know how to trade will go make money with them. So I think it's good overall, even though it's a little chaotic right now at the time of us filming this with MyForexFunds, and Deal today was the big deal, right? Deal is the big deal, you know? So like, it's just a tough time right now. But again, what industry just goes straight up? So it's pros and cons. But what I've advocated to people is like, squeeze the funding companies dry as much as you can. Take that money and get ready to trade it yourself, build your own capital. No one wants to rely on any other company. I hope that nobody would get into funding to rely on a funding company. You eventually should be trying to take that money and grow your own account. Yeah. So Madison, back us up really quick. Where did you learn to trade? Like, who taught you how to trade in 2015? Were you in with IML like I was in 2015? Was that the way you got into it?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
So I had a friend who he was doing ASFX's course.
Yes, of course.
So obviously I'm from the UK.
I should have guessed that, Mads, because you're in the UK, right? And they took over the UK, right?
Yeah, literally. And we're all from Birmingham as well. So we were all close. So he took me to an event. That was like my first trading event, and I was like, oh yeah, like this is good. And then he was like, well, I'm doing the course, so you can buy the course book off me. So I ended up buying the course book off him, and I taught myself most of it.
There you go. Did you find that the information from Astro was it valuable?
You know,
like, do you still use some of it?
Yeah, 100%. So like, if anyone that doesn't follow me, my strategy is literally support and resistance, Fibonacci, candlestick patterns on formations.
Yeah, so that's what they teach. That's traditional trading. Yeah,
that is so literally still to this day the same.
That's awesome. You know, and it's good to hear that, because I had Riz on the podcast a while back, and Riz talked a lot about that, the kind of like the negatives from Astro. So it is good to hear that someone on the podcast now has actually taken the stuff that they taught and made it work for them long term. But you know, just like with any trading course or anything, there's going to be people that succeed, and then there's going to be a larger percentage of people that fail. That's just this business. You know what I mean? I'm sure you understand that at this point, right?
100%. I think, like I say, Astro, it was very, I think what I trade is very well known. It's very everyone trades support and resistance. But so I think a lot of their content was very baby pips, but I have to give them their props for that course book that I put together, because I managed to make do with it, and everything else that they did. I mean,
yeah. You
Say no more.
you're not going to love everything everybody does, right? Like, even if they're your favorite person, they're still going to do something at some point that you don't agree with, for sure. And I know we don't need to go into too many of the stories. I'm sure we've heard similar ones. You were in the UK, so I'm sure you know more than me, but I won't pick at that too much. Tell me about how you guys started now, with Bespoke and the company you guys are now kind of all affiliated with. It's like you and is Kieran, is that how you say his name? And
Yeah,
Albert is involved.
Kieran.
What is this FX Connect event that has really developed from some of these funded traders in your area? Because you said they're all near you, right? Like, isn't Kieran like right down the road from you? I think you told me.
Kieran is, yeah. Me and Kieran, we're literally 5 minutes away from each other.
It's crazy. What a small world.
Yeah, I know. But we actually ended up becoming friends through Twitter. But we'd already met each other like years ago doing network marketing.
Wow.
But then we actually became friends through Twitter. Ended up we live 5 minutes away from each other as well.
That is so funny. So now, how have you guys linked up to start this FX Connect thing? Because I know you have a big meetup coming up in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, so we've got one coming up. So when this is being recorded, in 4 days we have an event coming up in London, and then in December we'll have the big London event.
Why is that? Why did the Birmingham event get moved to London? Was the audience growing in London?
Yeah, so most of the people that wanted to come are in London, and we had so many messages from people saying like, please, can you just do it in London? So we just thought, wow, like most of the fan base is there. Well, fan base, whatever you want to call the following, is there. So it makes sense to do it there. But moving it to London meant that we could have more speakers, a better venue. There was just a lot more that we can do with London. So it just kind of made sense.
Yeah. Can you share with everybody? I know we kind of talked about this when we met a couple of weeks ago. What's the vision of FX Connect? Because this is separate from the funding company stuff. This is separate from your own trading, really, right?
Yeah. So FX Connect, pretty much it started from, so in June, I don't know if you've heard of EYL, Earn Your Leisure.
No.
They were having, so they're like they do this thing called InvestFest that's US based. And they're just all about investing, like property, stock market, etc., etc. So they were holding an event in London in June, which me and Katie were attending. So me and Katie also met through Twitter, and we realized that we were both going to the same event. So like meeting each other through Twitter, we booked like seats next to each other, blah blah blah, but we'd never actually met. So we'd tweeted about the fact that we were going to this event, and like, was anyone else on Twitter coming, like to do a little meetup kind of thing. The day before that event also was the Fivers event. So we realized that there was going to be a lot of traders around London during that time. So we thought, okay, right, we'll do some kind of meetup. So we both tweeted about it, and it just kind of blew up. Like there was a lot of people that were interested in doing some kind of networking event before this EYL event. So Kieran messaged me because he saw my tweet, and he was like, this could be really good. Like, do you want any help with this kind of thing? And I was like, well, yeah, like if you want to, yeah. So me, Katie and Kieran created a group chat, and we just planned this networking event. We didn't even have a name. FX Connect wasn't a thing. Because I'd tweeted about it, I'd had another prop firm message me and ask me if they could sponsor. But because I'd previously worked with Bespoke, I thought I don't want to be that person that's like jumping from prop firms. So I messaged Bespoke and I said, these guys have said this, would you be interested in doing it? And they were like, absolutely.
Smart move.
Yeah. So
yep.
They were like, absolutely. They sponsored the event. And we became FX Connect. Bespoke helped us with all the graphics. Literally, we gave them a name. They came back with like different logo ideas. They helped us with everything. And FX Connect was kind of born. So FX Connect is me, Katie, and Kieran. We own it. We have Bespoke as a sponsor, and now we also have Darwin X as a sponsor as well.
Very nice.
Which is big.
Very big. That's awesome.
So yeah, the vision.
What's the goal?
FX Connect is,
like what's the next vision? Is it just going to be continued meetups? Is that the idea, and then just take it all over the world?
Pretty much, yeah, but I think we don't want to keep it just FX. We want it to be like business connect, like we want it to be everything, so like property, trading, like accounting things. Like we want everything that you could possibly think of to run a business, start a business, trade, invest, whatever it is. We want to have something there for everyone. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot bigger than what it is now, but baby steps to get
Baby
there.
steps, baby steps. But I love it. I love the concept. I think like one of the things I've tried to do is I've tried to host seminars all over the country. I've done the one in London last year. Now I'm coming to London again and hopefully
Yeah,
seeing you guys in December for this other one. But like when you get people together in a room that all share the same passion for money and investing and trading, the conversations are incredible. There's no
yeah,
like I never when I market my event, I never market it well enough about the networking and the power of like getting in a room with other people that have similar goals,
yeah,
but they're from a totally different background and you can instantly bond and connect with each other and maybe you end up doing business in the future. It's just so impactful that
exactly.
I think people, especially traders, like they underestimate the
Yeah,
power of networking. But like look at Twitter, like my podcast has helped me meet so many people and now it's opened up doors for me to come and speak at the event
yeah.
with you guys and like create relationships. So I think traders should be networking more, which brings me to my next question, Mads. Can you give us some of the traders who have influenced you along the way, whether they're traders who have written books or maybe people that are popular on Twitter now? Can you give some of the people listening some names of stuff to maybe check out?
Yeah, so the only two people that I really followed once I was like, right, okay, I'm taking trading seriously, was so the first one was I think Tory was first. So I was getting into a little bit of crypto, so I started following Tory. And that was back when he was doing Cryptonary with
Yep.
Astro.
Yep.
So I had the Cryptonary course, and then he left them, started I think it was Crypto Wizard he started just after that. And now obviously he does innovation markets, but also his business partner Bernie, when they were separate, Bernie was also another one. So his community being in there actually kind of what following what he was doing back in, like I think that was 2019, 2020, that really helped me to refine my strategy of what I'm doing now. um so yeah, Tory and Bernie, obviously now they've come together and they've got innovation markets. That is the only thing that I would ever recommend to anyone. Like that is the only course or app or website, whatever, that I would ever recommend anyone to
Wow.
go to.
That's strong. That's strong. I love
Yeah.
that. I've actually never heard of innovation markets, so definitely something for me to check out too. I love that. What about any trading books or any podcasts, anything else you like listening to? Of course, other than my podcast, you know what I'm saying? Other than this show.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, to be honest, majority of the podcasts in the forex space I've
Yeah.
listened to over the years, whatever it's been, whether it's just audio or video.
Yeah.
That's something that I just put on even now, like on a night time, rather than what just consuming rubbish. I'll just put on a podcast and just listen. But I think everyone's gonna say trading in the zone and stuff like that, but like I'll be honest, I've never actually listened to it or read it the whole way through. Like I've heard snippets here and there, but it's just not something that I would rather read like a book like that. Like I don't need to specifically learn about trading psychology. I think psychology in general is just okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
there's
that's
nothing
something
really
you and
on
Sam agree on.
trading.
Sam said that on my podcast. It's you and Sam both said trading psychology is bullshit. So there you go. That's something we should
I
connect there.
mean, I wouldn't say it's completely bullshit. I think
No, it
it's
matters.
definitely it definitely matters, like discipline and all of
Yes.
those kind of things. It definitely matters.
But if you
But when
suck at
it
everything
comes
else, it
to,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Like if I've been telling people like
Exactly.
if you have no foundation of trading, if you have no technical ability, if you don't understand markets at all, why are you even
Yeah,
worried about trading psychology right now? Like, don't worry
yeah,
about that. Just
100%.
learn why markets are moving, learn about candlesticks, learn about the basics first. And then that's the
Yeah,
next step. I think that's the next evolution. So, okay, let's
100%.
stay on this because there's good questions I can hit you with from here. What are some of the most important tips then, based on your trading style, the way that you see markets? What are some really important tips for new and struggling traders from you to think about?
In terms of trading as trading.
Yes.
So the biggest thing that I will say, something that I have really started to focus on, even just in the last few months, is stepping back to higher time frames. Stepping back to higher time frames. So I am used to getting entries on like 1 minute and 5 minute time frames. That is for the last year, 2 years. That is where I've been focusing on my entries. But since I've been looking more at like a 15 to 30 minute to get the entry, my levels of stress have dropped dramatically. The amount of trades that I'm taking has dropped dramatically. My level of risk management is like top tier now, like if I do say so myself. And yeah, literally stepping back to that higher time frame is absolutely game changing, because if you're consistently, and this is speaking from experience, if you're consistently trying to find that bottom and consistently trying to find that like sniper entry, you are going to get fucked. Because it if you just step down, work out your risk to reward, you don't need to have that perfect entry. And the more that you fight for that perfect entry, the more that you are going to dig yourself into a deeper hole. So stepping back to higher time frames, just letting it run, being stress free is an absolute game changer. And like I say, that is literally something that I've only been doing for the last few months.
I love that. Would you then agree with this idea? Don't buy the dip, buy the strength after the dip. If markets are falling,
100%.
instead of trying to pick the bottom, yeah, wait for strength
Yeah.
and then yes. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's good to
So
know.
with my kind of strategy, if I'm putting anything out there, I will wait for a break of a break of structure. So if there's a higher low, wait for that to get taken out, wait for the retracement, and then get back in when you confirm that that is a retracement. Like, you have to be patient.
Right. Because then you have a confirmation, you have a better stop loss, you have more of a rule to say, if this
Exactly.
happens, this trade is invalid, I don't want to be in it anymore. Rather than, I
Exactly.
hope this is the right price and I hope it doesn't hit my stop loss. Right.
Yeah.
Way more of a
Yeah.
gamble. What do you think
Yeah.
separates the traders? This is a good one, maybe a little tougher question. What separates the traders who are gambling versus the traders who are actually traders in your mind?
Risk management.
It's a good answer. Give me more
Absolutely.
details. Like, what do you
And
mean? Managing position size,
absolutely
managing
risk management.
profits.
So if you're entering a trade and you don't know exactly how much you're risking on that trade, then you're gambling. If you're placing a trade with no stop loss, you're gambling. If you're placing a trade where you don't have like a point of where price needs to get to for you to exit that trade or take partials, you're gambling. If your strategy is not in play, you're gambling. But yeah, risk management, and if your strategy is not there, which again for me, like it's still something that I struggle with. If I see like a bullish engulfing and maybe it's on a trend line, I'll take the trade, but that's not the strategy that I trade now. I trade Fibonacci and support and resistance. So you need to just stick to your strategy and manage your risk.
That's a great answer. When you trade, when it comes to the pairs that you're trading, are you only trading forex? And when you say
Yes.
higher time frame, would that mean going from 15-minute to daily directly, or can we go 15-minute to 1 hour? Like, when you specifically say, management on a higher time frame to get a bigger picture, what does that look like actually for you?
Yeah, so I'll generally get my entry on like the 30 minutes to the 15 minute, but when I'm managing the trade and looking at like, right, okay, what's going to happen with this, I'm looking at more like 1 hour, 4 hour, because realistically the lower you go, it doesn't matter what the candlestick looks like. It's more important about the levels, and the hourly and the 4 hour, they're going to show you the better levels.
Are you taking an entry on a 4 hour?
No.
Okay. So you'll go to a lower time
No.
frame then to take the
Yeah,
position.
so entries are always 15 30 minute.
I like that. I saw your trade on GU. I think it was on Twitter. You had a tight
Mhm.
stop loss on it. Are most of your trades tight stop like that?
Generally, I like to have my trades like 10 to 20 pips.
Okay.
But when I'm trading like GU, for example, and that was like a bottom trade, that is, I'm willing to take a little bit more of a pip stop in terms of that, but my risk to reward is still going to be the same, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
Mhm.
that type of a trade, will you look to have multiple trades like that are high risk reward, tight stop loss, all within the same day? Or are you looking for these more in like a week?
Yeah, so I
Okay,
recently took a trade on EJ. I took that on Monday, closed it yesterday.
got it.
That was yeah, that was like that's the only trade that I'm in.
Got it. So you'll look for trades for multiple days. So does that mean you're maybe taking 5 to 10 trades a week, something like that?
Yeah, it used to be like that. Now I'm down to more like 3 to 4.
That's how
So
I am
because
now
I'm
too.
trying to hold, because I'm entering on higher time frames, I'm expecting the to hold the trade for longer rather than just getting in and out.
Yeah,
So yeah.
love that. Out of the, I want to bounce back to our FX Connect topic. Out of all the people speaking this weekend, who are you most excited
Mhm.
to hear from?
Definitely, I think David Bell.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you know what it is? I didn't know who David Bell was at first. It was Kieran that told me who he is. And Kieran's a massive Tom Dante fan.
of course.
So him being a huge fan of him, he told me about Bell and said that they're really close. And yeah, I think he is going to drop a lot of bombs, a lot of swearing, which I love,
Of course.
but I think he's going to be very interesting to hear.
How do you get Tom Dante to come speak? I can't, I would like, everyone's asking me, they're like, you got to get Tom to come to one of your seminars. I'm like, I don't think Tom would
Yeah,
come to one of my seminars if I paid him $1 million.
yeah, no. So we're hoping that like David is going to put in a great word for us.
That's
So
really what it has to be. You know what I mean? That's what it's got to
yeah.
be. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we're hoping for that. So maybe he might be at an FX Connect event. We hope he is. And if
That'd
you're
be amazing.
watching, please
Come
come.
on, Tom. Let's do it, Tom, in London in December. I'm looking, I
Yeah.
was looking through your Twitter today too, Mats, just to look at some other stuff, not just your trades. I saw the picture
Yeah.
with the Vima can. I was in Vima when I was 18.
Really?
I
Oh my
swear to
God.
God. I was in college. I
Love
remember
that.
they came in and they talked to us about like network marketing and how if you could just get your
Yeah.
friends to sign up, you would make $1 bajillion. And then like
Yeah.
some of the big Vima guys ended up coming to my college and speaking there, and they had the BMW with the Vima sticker on it. And I was like,
Is that
this
Alex
is the
Morton by any chance?
Alex Morton and Luke Kish, if you remember those guys. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, yeah,
I've
of
got him
course.
on
And
Facebook.
yep, and same. And like Alex Morton is still popular. Like he was able, out of all of them,
Yeah.
I think he's the only one that still survived. You know what I mean? And he was able to flip his
Yeah.
business and still stay
He's
successful.
done I've seen him on stage with like Grant Cardone and people like
Yep.
that.
That's what I'm saying. He wrote a book. He got it. He
Yeah.
got around the right people. He reinvented
Yeah.
himself in the right way. What
Yeah.
was your experience with Vima? I'm just curious.
So you know what? I absolutely loved Beamer. I have to
Oh,
say.
those
So
drinks were so good.
I loved them. And you know what it was for me? So since I was I think I was 18 months old, I was diagnosed with arthritis.
Okay.
So I've grown up having juvenile arthritis, and every time it comes, so when I did A levels, I was doing a lot of writing, my hands would always hurt. When I was drinking Vima or Verve, I know that was like I noticed the pain wasn't there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this drink actually works. Like I was like, wow, okay, this is amazing.
That's
Um,
crazy.
the business side of it, I think I made about £12. I think I signed one person up.
Right.
I made
Right.
£12. I was
Right.
bronze leader.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yes, I never made any money, but the
No.
networking and the personal development,
Yes.
absolutely out of this world. If
Yep.
I didn't do network marketing, I would not be here today.
100% agree. I feel like I learned not just about public speaking, but just about a lot of self-development. I mean, it sent me down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
of watching that motivational type of
Yeah.
content that spiraled into
Yeah.
Gary V for me. And then Gary V for me was a big motivator to create content. And I started my first YouTube channel in 2015. I
Love
got into
that.
finance through I was selling life insurance. And at the time I was like, all
Oh,
right, I'm listening to Gary V and Alex Morton. I was still doing the Vima thing, I think, but then I left that and then I was getting, trying to get a real internship. And I worked with this financial company called Northwestern Mutual that sells life insurance and investments. And I just remember thinking like, this is the type of career that is really going to help me get to where I want to be. Unlimited income potential, you build your own schedule. Those ideas came to me because of the stuff that
yeah.
Alex Morton and those
Yeah.
guys preach. You know what I mean? I think that's where that
100%.
originally comes from. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. A massive thing for me as well was the fact that Vima had, I think it was more Alex Morton, had a really close relationship with Bob Proctor. So
Oh, of
before
course.
going into Vima, I'd already read The Secret. So then I was
So you already
introduced to this
knew.
whole bunch of people that knew about The Secret, and I was like, wait a minute, no one else that I know knows about this book. So I was like, right, okay, this is amazing, first of all. But then finding out that Vima had like quite a close relationship with Bob Proctor, I was like, this is like heaven here.
My that's so funny you say that. The Bob Proctor stuff, I feel like, again, one of those guys that is like the OG, and when it comes to personal development,
Yeah,
self-development, you know what I mean? So like that was another thing that sucked me into it too, 100%,
yeah,
100%. I did. You recently also fast forwarding at one of the meetups, you got to meet Kyle, right? From JCap. You met
yes,
Kyle. What'd
yeah,
you think of him?
he did. He is absolutely amazing. I will say, I don't know if have you ever been to you've been to the UK, haven't you? Have
I have, yeah.
you been to Nando's?
No. Should I be?
So, do you know? Have you heard of Nando's?
No, no, no. What is it?
Okay, so Nando's in the UK is like the elite chicken shop. So it's peri peri chicken. If you come to the UK and you don't have a Nando's, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
So we all went to Nando's. So we had like a speakers dinner. We all went to Nando's. Kyle came, and with Rodrigo as well. They'd been to the Fivers event.
Yep.
They came and met us, and Kyle ordered the absolute worst combination of Nando's that you could ever order. So with Nando's, you choose what kind of chicken you want, choose how spicy you want it, and then you choose your sides. Um, so yeah, Kyle will never live that down.
That's so funny. Wait, so now that when I
Up
went out
there.
with him, I went up to New York and I met him and I met Riz and I met Kit, the ICT concepts guy. And we
Yeah,
all
love
went,
him.
me and Kyle had ramen after, because my video guy, Vince, he loves ramen. So I always make sure when we're together, we
Okay,
go get ramen. And Kyle's Asian, Vince is Asian. I'm like, all right, I'm taking the Asian boys to get ramen.
makes
Like
sense.
it's a no-brainer. I go
Yeah.
to the ramen. I ordered some fish ramen. I was like Kyle at that place, and it was awful. I didn't even eat it, and I bought everybody lunch, and I didn't even eat it. So I was Kyle in that situation. But he's a really good guy. I like him a lot because there's not many people that like. Again, like not to say like myself, but like I am active in the markets. People know I'm trading, like yourself. Like they know, like there's difference between people that just talk and then the people who are talking, but they're also involved in trade. Kyle's like involved in trading,
Oh,
so people.
he's like Kyle is doing it.
Yes.
Like so we set Kyle up with I think it was with Darwin X, and like he's absolutely killing it.
Smashing it. I mean, because the guy can actually trade.
And it's
And you know
public,
what's
you can
interesting?
see it.
Yep, it's public and you can see, and you know, like
Yeah,
he's a really good example of somebody who can go from a full-time career in another really good business and transition and take that success and put
yeah,
it into trading. And I think that's one of the reasons he's really good is he already tasted success in his life. Because like a lot of the guys that I coach, I find that like if they're like I have the mentorship program that's like our high ticket item, the guys that come into that, the guys that do best in that program are entrepreneurs, already
yeah,
full-time traders, people who have already tasted success in their life. Honestly, the hardest two people for me in coaching are the brand new guy that's 18, 19, 20 and wants to make money tomorrow, and
yeah,
the guy that's 40 and has been trading for 15 years and has all these bad habits and still doesn't make money. Those are the two hardest to
yeah,
coach. But I'm lucky.
yeah,
The podcast brings me people sometimes that are successful business people. They haven't started trading yet and they want to get into it. And they come to me because they have some money to spend. So they're like, let me do this the right way, get with somebody that's doing. Those are the easiest people to coach because they don't have any of the bullshit, any of the bad habits. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
100%. I
crazy. It's
agree. Yeah,
very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So Mads,
yeah.
final couple of questions for you. If you could go back to when you first got into trading and give yourself advice, one thing, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say, I think if going back to when I first started trading, so 2015, 2018, I was not taking it seriously at all, but I was still putting a lot of pressure on myself in terms of like, I want to be rich and I need all these lovely things. It would be to just enjoy life, just chill out, just enjoy your life a little bit. Like you've got plenty of time to be this rich, successful woman. Like just enjoy life.
I love that. I love that. What do you think for like a new trader who has a really large watch list? This is a specific question because you trade
Okay.
forex more than me. I have a lot of guys that
Okay.
have like they're new. That advice you just gave would be great advice for them to follow. But they also have
Yeah.
like this, 16 pairs that they're looking at every day. Do you think that that's profitable? Can it be profitable to be looking at so many pairs, or do you have to niche down? Because I find you got to niche down. So I want to hear from you as a forex trader. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I've definitely seen traders do it, but I would 100% recommend going down to 3, if not 2 or 1 pair. So for me, I predominantly trade Euro JPY. That's my favorite pair. Sometimes I'll branch out to like GU or GA, but predominantly I focus on
Less is more.
EJ. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that traders just like they try to do too much, and I think what
Yeah.
you've said here in the podcast in a lot of ways over your journey, you've slimmed it down. You slimmed down the stuff you were
Yeah,
learning from, you slimmed down the watch list, you slimmed
absolutely.
down all of it. So I think that that's all very, very good advice for people that,
Mhm.
that are trying to start getting this thing popping. No, but Madison, this has
Yeah.
been great. I can't, the hour flies by. I know we had some
I know, it
camera
does.
issues, but it's okay. I had my camera died a little bit, but it's good. We got it through. So now, Mads, tell everybody what's going on with you with the rest of the year. I know we mentioned the London event coming up in December, but let's make sure they know about that. Where can they go to find more details? Should we send them to your Twitter? Should we send them to FX Connect? What do you think we should do?
Yeah, so the best place to go right now is Twitter. Everything gets posted on Twitter. Website is there, but Twitter is where you're going to find all like the up-to-date information. So that's FX Connect _. And yeah, the next, well, we've got our, as I say, recording this now, we've got an event in a few days. So we're building up to that now. Really looking forward to that. And then as you mentioned in December, that is when we're gonna have like, that is going to be like the statement event of like, right, we are here and we're going to take over.
I love it.
So yeah, that's going to be in December, but
Yeah.
up until then, every week we hold Twitter spaces, we're starting YouTube, where we'll have a guest on every week talking about different things. So yeah, we've got so much coming for this year.
I love it. I love it. And I'm actually having Kieran on the podcast in a couple of days, I think. So that'll be good to follow up with your episode, to
Love
have him come
that.
on it. Yeah. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see you in London, Mads. I can't thank you enough for
I
giving
can't
us the
wait.
time. I can't thank you enough for having me at the event. So for everybody, as long as all things work out, I'll be doing my seminar on Friday, and then I'll be at the FX Connect event on Sunday in December. So
Yeah,
if you want to be there, it's going to be the statement event. It's a statement weekend in London for traders.
it is.
Basically,
It
you
is.
should just be in London that weekend because shit's
Just
going
be
to
in
go down. You
London.
know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Just hang out outside if you don't care. If you can't buy a ticket, you'll
Yeah,
still hear some shit going down. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So no, this has been
And
great,
it's gonna
Mads.
be, yours is the first, right? And then ours is the
Yep,
third.
yep, yep, yep. So
Love
it's going to be a
that.
great couple of days. And I mean, in between there, the content, the creation, it's going to be trader
Yeah,
takeover of London that weekend. So it'll be good.
literally. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. But listen, Mads, thank you so much. I appreciate you staying up late
No,
to get
thank
this done.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody, make sure you connect with her. Links are down in the description. We'll make sure that that's all there for them. But until next time, Mads, maybe until December. I mean, we'll talk on Twitter between now and then, but until we
We
get to
will.
hug and shake hands in December, I appreciate your time. And for everybody listening, thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Oh, of course. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks, everybody.